What's going on, all you wild video game enthusiasts? It's your two favorite uncles back here. I'm Logan Myers. It's my good mate over there.
Well, I'm Bob Ward.
Oh, Bob, it's been a minute. I know we haven't talked in a while, but I thought we'd hop on and share our thoughts about the brand new film Sonic 2 that just came out. Both of us watched it with our kids, going in, playing the video games, Sega Genesis back in the day, the inception of Sonic the Hedgehog, and then bringing it to a new generation with our kids, seeing it in the big screen, having a really good time with it. So, what'd you think of the film?
I liked it. Jim Carrey's a genius. I'm not saying like he's the main focal point of the movie or anything by that means, but Jim Carrey has gone a lot of different ways when it comes to movies, and him coming back to comedy has been fantastic. He's using, his inflections on his voice. He's doing physical comedy. This is Jim Carrey at his best. It's Ace Ventura-esque.
In the first film, we got the introduction of Sonic coming to Earth. He basically friends this guy named Tom Wachowski, which was like the sheriff of this little town in Washington, played by James Marsden. Dude never ages. He's always looking the same for like 30 years. He's been acting since the 90s, since a disturbing behavior first time I saw him. So huge fan of his. But, him and Sonic had this relationship in the first film, had a lot of heart to it while bringing in a lot of the mythology from the games. And this time around with the sequel, you see Sonic living with Tom and his wife or fiance. And, it sets up the rest of the story, bringing in Dr. Robotnik, that was from the first film, trapped on Mushroom Planet. And this film, part two, of him escaping, having to do with Knuckles, voiced by Idris Elba, and then, going after Sonic.
The slight little jab towards Nintendo with talking about how terrible the Mushroom Planet is. I still find that funny, even though like it was mentioned in the first one. I thought this one was really good.
This movie as well brought in more, I guess, of the lore from Sonic 2, Sonic 3, bringing in the characters of Knuckles and Tails, obviously Dr. Robotnik, but bringing in, a lot of Easter eggs in the films for people that grew up in the video games, especially on Sega, throwing those into the film. And they really kind of focus more of like bringing in all these characters where, the first movie had more heart to it. The story is more developed between him, Sonic and Tom Wachowski's character. And this, film, I felt like Marsden took the back seat. He was only in the movie for a little bit and was more focusing on Knuckles and Tails.
Yeah, and that's a shame because Marsden has good he's got good comedic timing. He has for a good part of his career. But yeah, I felt like it was Sonic Tails. They kind of mushed a lot into this one. I think this is their bridge movie, and I think the third one is where they're gonna kind of have fun with it. Or not fun, but that's where you're going to get everybody in it. In a way, I feel like Sonic took a little bit of a backseat in this as well. I think they focused a lot on Tails. You wanted to get Tails in there. You wanted to get Knuckles. You wanted to get this big face off and stuff like that. And I feel the first one was the little movie that could. They brought it back. They retooled it. They made Sonic look more like Sonic. Whereas in this one, I felt it was a cluster of everything. Not taking anything away from it. It's just I didn't feel like there was a straight focus on anything.
Yeah, it was hard to follow at times. And when you're coming at this, when you're a little kid, you don't really notice these things. But, as an adult, yeah, the script seemed all over the place. It wasn't really as cohesive as the first film. And they're just like throwing in all these characters and crazy stuff from the video games. And it just, it was kind of all over the place, like you were saying, having to do with this Master Emerald that Sonic's trying to get and Dr. Robotnik's trying to get more power. And
yeah, it was pulling all over the place. Yeah, the Emerald we just got. Also, Knuckles mentions how he's the last, but in the, and how it seemed like it was this lost tribe of many, many years ago. But in the first movie, the very first thing of Sonic as a low one, there's a whole tribes of Knuckles around. So if we're to believe that Sonic is only X amount of years old, it hasn't been that long since that tribe was still alive and thriving.
Yeah, it didn't really make sense. And even Ben Schwartz, voices the character Sonic. I don't think he was as good in this movie. But again, Sonic didn't have a bigger part, like he did in the first film either. But yeah, I don't think Ben Schwartz put as much emotion and character into this, character of Sonic this time around.
Yeah, I think it took itself a little too serious, which is fine. You want to keep the kids, but no, the first one was wacky. It was Sonic in a human world. And now I feel like they were integrating a bunch of stuff. And now we're getting more of the video game and less of the interactions amongst other people. There was still the humor, Sonic in the beginning taking out the thieves and realizing the brakes, so he takes it all apart. Like, that's funny. And then you would have downtime, you know?
Yeah. And in the first film that I went in with super low expectations, I loved it. I had a great time with it. I ended up buying it on 4K and watching it a few times with my kid. You know, all the great things that were, you know, about the first film, they just didn't have in this movie. It just fell flat for me for the most part across the board. You know, it's cool seeing some, you know, introduction to Knuckles and Tails for people that aren't familiar with those characters. But what made the first film really great was the real life world, the real world that's happening, the characters, Tom Wachowski, you know, Sonic living there with them, you know, that true relationship. And they didn't really have that, didn't have all the heart, like I was saying earlier in the second film.
Let's get our kid. And so it's like, all right, like, I get that you're going to want to try to make Sonic the child and make, you know, show this family unit. But at the same time, I felt like a lot of people probably love this movie. But I thought it was all right. You know, Tails, I felt was pretty good, but I don't remember him being this big gadget kid. So maybe it was lost on me and I just didn't understand. I don't know. I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember playing the games, there's a lot of references with, you know, Sonic, the snowboarding level, and then you had Tails flying the plane and the Mean Bean coffee shop. You know, there's a lot of references. And I felt like they focused more on that, bringing all these elements from the video game to the movie instead of, you know, writing a good script and good characters and a story, really. It's just more like, here's Tails, here's Knuckles. Knuckles is way out of control. He's really strong. And Tails is here to help Sonic. And Tails is really into Sonic. And, you know, it's like in your face.
Another thing I liked about the first one, and even more, was Adam Pally, the guy who played the deputy, where just he's being the wacky, you know, the wacky sidekick, essentially. I liked him. Like, while we didn't get Marsden, we got him coming around asking, "No, do you want a bagel?" That's a display bagel. You know, like, I think he was funny. I think that gave us the element of wackiness that we needed. It was just too few and far between. Idris Elba, of course, the man has a voice of a god. So, like, you know, he could be in anything.
Yeah, he does.
The one thing that got me was the trope of, if you want to make someone feel like they're not from around you and totally fish out of water, make them talk. Teen Titans did it with Starfire. Everyone does. Base of the ball, this of the that. You know, like, it's always fish out of water type thing. So when they're playing baseball, it's base of the ball. Yes, I have stolen the first of the bases. I've stolen second of the bases. You know, and it's just like, I get it. You know, you're not from around here. That's great, but I don't know. It's a trope that just bothers me to this day. Like, even so many things. It's just like, no, he's different. He doesn't have to talk like that.
And one thing that kind of annoyed me about this movie, like right from the get-go, the intro, it's like Sonic's trying to be Batman. Like, it's a little in your face. Like, we get it. You know, he's trying to, everything going on Batman, obviously a popular character in movies and stuff like that. And I felt like that was just really cheap and not a good way to start the movie. And it started off on the wrong foot.
And can we talk about the fact that he was only in that city for a short duration of time?
Yeah.
And then we're just supposed to believe, like, oh, he does that all the time. Like, okay. You know what I mean? Like,
key example of the writing made no sense.
And also the subplot of the wedding in Hawaii for some reason.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
For some reason, not only that, they're like, well, it's not only going to be a B plot, but we're going to put Shema Moore in it for no reason. This just very well-known actor, and it's going to have absolutely nothing to do with anything in the movie. It would have been great if he came in and he was part of Robotnik's crew or something like that. Like, give us something, a reason that character's there. And those were the most forgettable parts of the movie.
It was, you know, Marsden was so fantastic in the first movie, and in the second movie, going to a wedding in Hawaii, you know, meeting the future, you know, sister-in-law's husband, and it was all just wacky and forced, and throwing in the cops and that whole scenario towards the end, it just out of left field. Didn't make sense to me, and the whole subplot just didn't work. They should have just left that out. Let Marsden be in this world of Sonic, trying to help him out, taking down Dr. Robotnik, but we just got this other subplot in Hawaii.
And I think it was all where, hey, remember how his future sister-in-law hates him, or his sister-in-law hates him? Let's play on that more. Why? It was funny, but it's over now. The things we wanted to continue from the first one don't. And the things that we didn't care about the first one came back in the second.
Yeah, it's like, what were the writers thinking here? Pat Casey, Josh Miller, and John Whittington. Come on, what were you doing in this movie? Bad writing, and shame on you, Jeff Fowler, for directing the second film. Loved it so much, and just a lot of the great aspects in the first movie just didn't bring to the second one. And hopefully they fix that if they end up doing a trilogy, which supposedly they're doing. And Jim Carrey supposedly or might be gaining a lot of weight for Robotnik's character, much like the video game character.
And that's what I'm hoping happens. I'm hoping we get a fat Robotnik. Like that's what I've been wanting this whole time, with getting the big robot that you fight in the game. Like I was like, all right, cool. I really liked it. Knuckles is a cool character. Some of the action sequences were great. Like the initial meeting between Knuckles and Sonic, that was fantastic. But yeah, it would give you those peaks, and then it would just subtly die down. And then you're like, oh well, there's nothing there then.
It's have a little bit of momentum, and then it's like, nope. Now we're going to throw in some stupid story or jokes that don't make sense.
And now we're back in Hawaii.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't flow. A lot of editing. Maybe the pandemic had some issues during that time and like reshoots. I'm not sure. Whatever it is, please fix it for the next film. I was really looking forward to this one, and I was kind of let down. Leaving the theater, my son obviously loved it. If you have kids watching it through your kids' eyes, they're going to love this. Adults, that it's a nostalgic ride for us. Growing up with Sega and Sonic and stuff. But yeah, it's a big disappointment for me.
No, my boys loved it. They told me it was better than Shang-Chi, which is one of their favorite movies right now. So they absolutely thought it was fantastic. There is a part of me that kind of wants Sega to go the way of MCU and like give us a cool Street Fighter movie. Like I would love for Capcom to come on board and go, all right, here's a Street Fighter movie. Not with Jean-Claude Van Damme or anything like that, but like give us a decent one in the way of the newest Mortal Kombat. So I hope Sega's like, we have a lot of properties we can play with here.
Yeah, I'm talking NBA Jam. That's what I want, a live action of that, and bringing back Jordan, all them, DH, all the cast, Larry Johnson, Alonzo Mourning,
the Scott Skiles.
Yeah, the Pistons, the Knicks. I want a live action NBA Jam. Spent thousands of hours in that game.
I bet you Larry Johnson wishes there was an NBA Jam too. It's
like I need
to be able to do for a bit.
He's like, I need a paycheck.
Ghost and Ghouls, Dungeons and Dragons, Golden Axe. How great would a Golden Axe movie be? Like I'd get down on that in a heartbeat. I'm looking forward to the third one because I know I'm going to see it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, my boys are going to love it. It'll probably be out in like 2.5 years. That'll be it. Jim Carrey recently said that he's retiring. So Sonic 3 could be one of his last movies. If I remember correctly, he was talking about the writers for Sonic doing Ace Ventura 3. And then he said there's just, I think any projects that were coming up to him, he said he was retired.
Well, I mean, if he does retire, let's go out on top and let's make a better Sonic movie and maybe another Ace Ventura and then go out on top. But we'll see. But we both had a lot of issues with this movie. Maybe we were being too critical about it. Hey, I mean, that's what we do. But just a lot of the story, some of the characters, just a lot of it, the subplot here just didn't make sense. Definitely wasn't as good as the first film. So if you guys haven't seen any of these, definitely check out the first one. Second one, I guess you can watch once, but for me personally, it's a film I probably won't rewatch again or buy. And just overall, pretty disappointed across the board.
Yeah, we need to start a hashtag thing of more Marsden. And we'll just try to get the movement where in the third movie, Marsden's on there with Sonic the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like he carried a lot of the first movie, obviously next to Ben Schwartz, but taking the back seat. Disappointed. I wanted more Marsden. What a dreamboat.
Right? Yes, he hasn't aged. From Cyclops to Sugar and Spice, the disturbing behavior. The man is all around gem.
Yeah, beautiful man. But across the board, directing, writing, obviously was a big problem with this. I love all the characters from the video games they brought in, a lot of Easter eggs, a lot more of the lore. The real life environment and storyline between Marsden and Sonic's character wasn't really there, and some other big mistakes. But the overall visual effects looked pretty good in this movie. I was impressed, with the CGI looked good. But just the rest of it, story and characters just weren't there for me. So with that being said, I'm going to give Sonic 2 a 3.5 out of 5 James Marsden hair pieces.
I'm going to be a little more critical. I'm going 3.
Right?
I'm going 3 tops. Not great, but not terrible. But all the parents out there, if you want your kids to be happy, this is this will keep their interest and they'll be stoked throughout the entire thing.
Great.
You know what? When this comes out on DVD, this is going to be the mom or dad has to do laundry and the kids are in the way. Just pop this thing in and you're good.
Yeah. Friday night, here's a movie or some pizza. We're going to go do our thing.
Exactly. Mommy and daddy got to, yeah, exactly.
we got some business to take care of. Jordan for the kids. Absolutely. Yeah. So all the kids out there, you know, people with kids, you know, this is a movie we'd recommend to you. For the younger generation, they'll have fun with this. Older people are more critical and fans of the original games and the first movie just probably won't love it as much as the kids will. But we're interested in hearing your guys' thoughts. What did you like about Sonic 2? What didn't you like? Do you choose Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to click subscribe. Also, check out these wild boys on our social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, our website, Cinephellas.com for the latest, greatest TV, movie news, and reviews. And also stay tuned to our YouTube channel right here. Me and the rest of the boys got lots of videos coming out, movie, TV, reviews, podcasts, interviews, and much, much more. So if you haven't, click subscribe and check us out on YouTube. We'd truly appreciate it. So this is your two favorite uncles signing out from the Mushroom Planet until the next movie review. Cheers!